Get out. I hired you to be a nanny, not a private investigator. My daughter needs a professional with an elite education, not a woman from the streets who fills her head with ghost stories. You are unskilled, unprofessional, and officially fired." Billionaire Elias Thorne's voice echoed through the cold marble halls of his mansion like a thunderclap. He stood with his jaw set, his expensive tailored suit perfectly pressed, looking down at Maya with absolute disdain. He shoved a severance check for $10,000 into Maya's hand, as if the paper could bridge the gap between their worlds. Maya looked at the check, then up at his cold, gray eyes, her own expression remaining remarkably calm despite the insult. She didn't care about the money. She cared about the terrified 6-year-old girl hiding behind the heavy velvet curtains in the corner of the room. Lily had been the only reason Maya stayed in this house of glass and ice for as long as she had. The child hadn't spoken a single word in 6 months, not since the day of her mother's funeral. As Maya turned to leave, her heart heavy with the weight of leaving the girl behind, a sound stopped everyone in their tracks. A blood-curdling shriek ripped through the silence of the mansion, a sound so raw and desperate it seemed to shake the very foundations of the house. Little Lily was pointing a trembling, pale finger at the heavy oak door leading to the dark attic. "No. Don't let her go." Lily screamed, her voice cracking and raspy from months of disuse. "She's the only one who believes me. She's up there. She's watching you right now." The room went deathly silent as the echo of the child's voice faded. Before we go any further into this chilling mystery of Thorne Manor, I want to take a moment to ask you, who are you and where are you watching from? Tell us your city and country in the comments below, as we love seeing how far our community reaches across the globe. And if you believe that a person's intuition is more powerful than a billionaire's ego, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like right now. Your support helps us bring these stories of justice and hidden truths to light. Now let's find out what was really hiding in the attic of the Thorne estate. Maya had arrived at the mansion only a week prior, having been recommended by a small community center that helped women find work in the city. She was a woman of deep empathy and sharp observation, traits Elias Thorne considered unskilled compared to a degree from a prestigious university. From the moment Maya stepped inside the grand foyer, she had felt a heavy, oppressive atmosphere that seemed to cling to the walls. The head housekeeper, a stern woman named Mrs. Gable, had watched Maya's every move with eyes that reminded her of cold river stones. Lily was a shadow of a child, her skin almost translucent and her eyes darting to the shadows every time a floorboard creaked. Maya noticed immediately that Lily didn't play with the expensive toys her father bought to assuage his guilt. Instead, the girl drew dark, jagged shapes on the hardwood floor with charcoal, her small hands shaking. Maya also noticed a strange habit. Lily would hide half of her sandwiches of fruit in her pockets during lunch. She would whisper toward the ceiling when she thought no one was looking, her lips moving in silent, frantic conversation. When Maya first asked Mrs. Gable about the attic, the housekeeper's face had twisted into a mask of pure, unadulterated rage. She told Maya that the attic was strictly off-limits, claiming it was filled with the painful memories of the late Mrs. Thorne and nothing more. But Maya began to hear the sounds, a rhythmic, desperate scratching that started every night at exactly 10 o'clock. It came from directly above Lily's bedroom, a sound that no rat or shifting foundation could ever produce. She saw the way Lily's eyes would dart toward the air vents whenever Mrs. Gable entered the room with a tray of food. Maya realized that Lily wasn't just traumatized by the loss of her mother. She was living in a state of active daily terror. When Maya tried to bring these concerns to Elias, he didn't even look up from his golden tablet. He was too busy orchestrating a multi-billion-dollar merger to listen to a temporary nanny talk about imaginary noises in the ceiling. He told her she was being paid to watch the child, not to psychoanalyze the architecture of his home. Mrs. Gable, sensing that Maya was getting dangerously close to the truth, decided it was time to eliminate the threat. She waited until Elias was in the hallway, then intentionally shattered a priceless Ming vase near the nursery. The housekeeper pointed a shaking finger at Maya, weeping fake tears as she claimed the new nanny was becoming violent and unstable. She told Elias that Maya was filling Lily's head with stories of monsters and ghosts, driving the poor girl deeper into silence. That was the final straw for the billionaire, who valued order and reputation above all else. He didn't want a woman who challenged the status quo or asked uncomfortable questions about the history of his staff. But when Lily screamed, the carefully constructed order of Elias Thorne's life was shattered into a million pieces. He watched in total shock as his daughter collapsed onto the marble floor, sobbing and pointing toward the forbidden door. Ignoring the fact that she had just been fired, Maya dropped her bag and grabbed a heavy brass lamp from a side table. She didn't wait for permission as she sprinted toward the narrow winding stairs that led to the top floor. Elias, driven by a sudden primal fear for his child, followed close behind her, his heart pounding against his ribs. They reached the attic door, and Maya noticed something Elias had overlooked for years: 3 separate heavy-duty bolts. These were not the kind of locks meant to keep people out. They were the kind of locks designed to keep something or someone trapped inside. Maya kicked the door with a strength born of pure adrenaline and protective fury. The wood splintered and the door swung open, revealing not a dusty storage room, but a small, windowless prison cell. The air was stale, and the only light came from a single flickering bulb hanging from the rafters. There, huddled in a corner on a thin, tattered mattress, was a woman the world believed had died in a car accident 3 years ago. It was Sarah, the younger sister of Elias's late wife, her face gaunt and her eyes wide with a mixture of hope and fear. It turned out that Mrs. Gable had discovered Sarah had been left a secret: massive inheritance that surpassed even the Thorne fortune. The housekeeper had faked Sarah's death and kept her drugged and hidden, slowly draining the trust funds into her own offshore accounts. She had used Lily's fear against her, telling the little girl that if she ever spoke a word, her aunt would be hurt even more. The unskilled nanny had seen the truth that the billionaire's ego and the world's greed had successfully blinded them to. Mrs. Gable tried to slip away through the back service entrance, but Maya had already alerted the security team at the front gate. As Sarah was carried out into the fresh air for the first time in years, Elias fell to his knees in the dust of the attic. He realized that his pursuit of wealth and status had made him a stranger in his own home, nearly costing him his family. He turned to Maya, his voice choked with emotion, and offered her anything she wanted: money, property, a place in his firm. Maya looked at him, then walked over to Lily, who was finally standing tall and breathing without the weight of a secret. She told Elias that she didn't want his fortune. She wanted him to start being a father who actually looked his daughter in the eye. Maya chose to stay at the mansion, not as a servant, but as a trusted advisor and the legal guardian of Sarah's recovery. She turned the dark attic into a sun-drenched art studio for Lily, where the girl's drawings finally began to feature bright colors and smiles. The story of the Thorne family became a legend in the city, but not for their wealth or their business deals. They were known for the woman who proved that the most important skills in life are compassion and the courage to listen. Elias Thorne learned that true power isn't about how many people you can fire, but how many people you are willing to protect. And Lily never stopped talking, her voice filling the halls that were once silent with the sounds of laughter and joy. If you found this story of hidden secrets and ultimate justice powerful, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit the like button to support our work and help us share more stories that prove the truth always comes to light. Thank you for watching, and remember that sometimes the people the world ignores are the only ones truly paying attention. We will see you in the next story.